I wanna die!
Wait. We need an intro!
Welcome back to the C Word Productions, where we don't know how to actually start a video.
Or end
So
it.
we sort of just skip ahead, and we're gonna cut to us doing the video instead of doing an intro, because we never have anything.
We're probably gonna use this for the intro.
So today we have the 20 top questions that we had when we were going into university that we think you might want to know.
Hope you like it. Good luck.
So we go to a school called WPI. We're all freshmen. I'm a chemistry major.
I'm a biochemistry major.
Chemical engineering.
And my name's Alina.
I'm Luca.
Jared. I've known Luca for almost 8 or 9 years now.
I've only known them since the beginning of this school year. And I regret every minute of it.
Every minute?
Every one. Every last one, Luca. So we all met in our first term chem class. So we all have different versions of this story, but how it happened is I was sitting in the second row of my chem class.
Fifth.
I'm telling my version.
Yours is next.
And I asked a dumb question in class, and some know-it-all decided to raise his hand and say, "Hey, I can help you," even though I didn't need help.
So I don't remember anything. Supposedly we had the same chem class our first term. Supposedly they sat near us at some point, and Luca made friends with them, and I'm friends with Luca.
By the transitive property.
So yeah, I just ended up as friends
If I
with
follow
them.
somebody, he follows them.
And they also live on the same floor as us in the same building, which I didn't know until like last term.
The only way I remember is I remember that Jared wore a Disney t-shirt, and I was like, wow, I should be friends with that person because they're wearing a Disney t-shirt.
Every day, I would sit in the fourth row of the chem class, which is why I know your story was wrong. And she asks a question to the teacher, and yeah, it was a really dumb question, and she should have known how to do it. So the teacher basically just left, and I'm like, hey, I know how to do this, you do this. Fast forward to either like the next day or next week, and her and behind the camera over here start sitting next to us every day because apparently I knew what I was doing. That's a lie. That's a big lie. But now we know each other and help each other study, and they all deal with me in class every day of the week. Classes for semester 1 went really well. We're broken up into a quarter system instead of a semester system, so we have like 3 and 3. It's a bit faster, but it's nice because we don't study for as many finals at once.
So at our school, it's a little different that we cannot get below a C. You can either get an A, B, C, or NR, which stands for not recorded, I think.
No record.
No record.
No record. Which means that if you get a D, there's no record of you ever taking the class. It was just a culture shock from going to having a class last a whole year to last 7 weeks. But it went pretty good. I had some pretty interesting classes. I had classes with them in chemistry, and I got to take a couple music classes, which was really fun.
I did pretty well. Most of it's a blur at this point. You're only allowed to take 3 classes a term, but if you take a gym class, you're allowed to take 4 technically. Through the roof.
Yes.
Next question.
Stress is higher this week than normal because we're going into finals week. So, there's that.
It is constantly through the roof. Next question.
So, transitioning to WPI was different because we started so much sooner than everyone. So, you're going off to university for the first time and all your friends are still back home. They're starting and you're already midterms week. And then by the time that you're getting used to it, you're already in finals week and you already have a week home. So it's very different than what people you went to high school are doing, but it's really fun.
And then you show up and you have no friends and you have to figure out who is who. And the scheduling is really weird because like sometimes you'll have an 8 a.m. and then like the next day you can sleep till 10.
It really puts a lot of the responsibility on you to manage your time, which is, as young adults, we're not very good at that.
I actually love it.
You have to remember to feed yourself.
Yes.
Keep that in mind.
Don't forget to feed yourself.
I really like having our own schedules because I finally get to do whatever I want and I get to put it together. So I know, like, do I really want to die today? Yes. So I'm going to put 8 hours of classes, 4 hours of club, and then 1 hour of sleep until the next day. But it's my choice to do it, so I'm happy that I'm getting to do what I want to do.
The worst part of college so far is laboratory class because we all have to have lab partners, and that's really hard.
First of all, you have to meet new people.
Then you have to work with them.
For reference, he's my lab partner right now.
We actually are doing okay. We just have a really hard lab teacher. I would say that the worst part, if you get good lab partners, it's not bad. But for us, our chem lab reports are due Saturday night at midnight. Why?
Pretty much weekly, if not bi-weekly.
It's the worst thing. You think you have a nice relaxing weekend. No, your entire Saturday is spent fixing your lab report so you can still fail.
And then your Sunday is spent sleeping it off.
So pick good lab partners because you're probably going to spend a lot more time with them than you think you want to. My standards have 100% dropped since high school. Like, in high school, it was reasonable to be a perfectionist. Like, you could reach for that A+. You could work on your project, finish it a week early. Here, stuff moves way too quickly.
My standards for people have lowered because I've met them. My standards for professors have increased because they're all actually pretty good. My work standards are probably about the same.
Like, I had a math professor who I couldn't get into his class for the second term. And I was, like, emailing him trying to see where there was an opening and if there was one. He emailed me at 1:30 in the morning, like, hey, a spot just opened up in one of my classes. Go check if that's the one you need. Like, who's that dedicated to their students? This is the best math teacher I've ever had.
The professors here are amazing.
So I was thinking when I went to WPI that I was going to go to this magical tech school where everyone was really smart and everyone was really easy to work with and get along with. And when I got here, my expectations weren't, don't want to say they weren't met because I love the school and I love the people here, but I had set expectations a little too high, I think.
So this was one of the first places I actually toured, and there was like only one or two other places that really compared, but this was like my second choice going in. So I've been waiting to go here for like 2 years, and it, to me, still is one of the best decisions I've made.
I hadn't heard of this place until I actually started looking for universities to go to. My expectations were miniature MIT, and I still think this beat them. I think the place is better. Actually, almost daily. I text, snap, and call them pretty often, sometimes in class.
I have running high school group chats that I still talk with all my friends from back home, and my family will check in on each other.
I barely talk to my family. It's bad. I need to talk to them more.
I am technically in several clubs. The only club I went to consistently was Ultimate Frisbee, which is where I got my gym credit. Besides that, all I know about clubs is that they're run by people and they're all pretty nice.
I'm mainly part of 2 clubs. I do band and I do dance, and I play flute in band. We practice like twice a week, so it's not a major commitment, but it's still really fun. And dance is really chill. It's a really good environment. I really like being on it. There's lots of different opportunities. You never know where they can come from.
I'm part of, I haven't been there in a while, but I'm technically still part of it. There's an underwater hockey club, which it's weird, but it's such a great time. It's basically soccer underwater, but with really tiny hockey sticks. And then I do the on-campus theater and musical theater and normal theater groups.
There are a lot of clubs pretty much for anything you can think of, and if you can't find one, you can make it yourself. Usually you only need a professor to back you and like 5 to 6 people.
You need 5 or 6 people to make it, so you have an exec board, and then you need like 60 people to sign, like, I want this to be a club.
So during their free time, they come to my room and bug me, and we call it sad boy hours because they're sad boys.
During my free time, I like to watch TV shows, movies, play video games, read books, write, sing. I will go on walks, run. It's a lot of fun, actually. There's a lot of stuff you can do around here. And if you don't want to do any of it alone, usually you can find someone to do it with, like sad boy hours.
I honestly don't remember the last time I've had free time, because since I just got out of a show, I haven't had any. But back earlier when I did, a lot of the times I would just like to hang out in the main common room with a bunch of my friends, and I like chilling with people mainly. because I don't have enough time to do large events for free time. But free time's also really cool here because, like, you might have a 12 a.m. and you don't have to go to bed till 3. So you have free time from 1 in the morning till 3 in the morning to do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, during my free time, I usually take care of my plants. I have an entire, like, garden in my window, and I will practice for band. I take flute lessons also, which could count for a class, but they don't right now. So I do that. So really music and dance and plants are what I do in my free time.
So depending on if you have an 8 a.m. or a 12 a.m., your nights can be completely different. If you have an 8 a.m., you try to get to bed early. If you don't, and you pretend like it's any other night, you will be exhausted in that 8 a.m. Let's say, like us now, we have 8 a.m. lab. So you will be spilling chemicals, you will be dropping glass.
Throwing out a full graduated cylinder.
Yeah, most nights I just hang out with my roommates. We got really close over the course of the year, so we just hang out, we'd watch videos, we'd watch movies, we'd just sit and talk, and we just endless jokes. We crack each other up so much, and you'd never believe the things you find funny at like 3 a.m. in the morning after you have a lab.
Everything.
It's so great.
It's amazing. Everything's funny at that point.
I already said I love my roommates. I got lucky. We all live in a building that I will not be naming, but it is a street style living, so I have 8 roommates.
We had 4, now we have 3.
So in our rooms, we have our 2 to 4 rooms with people live in, so it can be anywhere from 1 to 3 people. And there's the rooms, there's a private bathroom, and then there's a living room with a kitchenette. So we have couches, which is pretty cool. It's easy to have people over on the weekends, so we'll have movie nights, we'll have ice cream, because we have full-size freezers and we can fit 8 pints of Ben & Jerry's. So roommates, I love my roommates. I've said this like 4 times already.
Did
you know that she loves her roommates?
So in my room specifically, there's 2 triples. I live in one of the triples, and there's 2 singles. So I chose randomly this year, and I decided that we got along so well that we're going to room again next year, and we got an apartment together. Yeah, I really love them. I know they're watching this. Love you, Sonia.
So as you can see, there are 2 types of roommate situations where you love your roommates or they will drive you crazy. Depends on where you go. Over time, the food does degrade in quality.
Because it's all you eat every night. We have one of the 3 places where you can eat in our building, and it's only for dinner. And since we're too lazy to walk to the other dining hall, since it's up a hill, we all eat there, like at the one in our building every night. And they have a really limited menu, and it gets so tiring, but it's not worth going up the hill for the other food, which is also just as bad.
There's a lack of diversity in food. Specifically, some of our friends have dietary restrictions, such as they only eat halal meats or they can't eat certain foods due to religious reasons. So that's definitely something that is a hardship in college. I think movie nights is my favorite part. Having people over and just sitting in your living room and watching the de-evolution of all your friends from like 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. in the morning. I think that's my favorite thing, and that's when you really get close to people. I think that's my favorite part.
The first time it snowed here and we all just immediately put on our coats, like over our pajamas, and just immediately went outside and sledding without sleds down the hill because we were too lazy to go and steal trays.
I stole trays. They work wonders. Also, giant cardboard boxes. You'd be surprised how well they work. It shoots snow in your face, but they work beautifully.
The doors in your dorm room also work really well if you take off the handle and the hinges. Probably the freedom. Like, you don't realize it until you get here and no one tells you what to do ever.
Yeah.
At all. You have to keep yourself going. You have to set your own alarms. You have to make sure you wake up, get out of bed, make sure you take a shower, eat, and get to class.
I expected, because we went to a tech school, that there was going to be a lot of nerds here. We still do have the full social spectrum of people. Not everyone's like a socially awkward nerd. think we have a lot of them, us being some of them, but Luca, be real with yourself. Be real with yourself. You know that you're one of us.
I know, I'm just surprised you didn't call us out faster.
I have to say people do tend to be more nerdy though.
Oh yeah. The more you hang out with people, you'll realize what their nerdiness is. So even if you're in a chem class and someone might not be doing well, maybe math or maybe it's computer science, everyone has their tick. And once you find it, you'll be like, oh yeah, I know why you're here now.
I am a completely different person than when I came into college. 100%, I don't even recognize myself anymore.
Seconded.
I think the social aspect was what changed you the most. Like, it's not that you're a different person, you're just like more social because you have to talk to people. At home, if your friends were like, hey, want to go out this Saturday? You could be like, oh, dang, I have a family thing. Like, sorry. And then you just go hide in your room. But here, people know. You can just walk into my room and see that I'm there, and they can see that you're free. So you get dragged into things a lot easier, and that's not a bad thing either.
My parents, when I came back, like, in between the first 2 terms and I was, like, doing stuff, they're like, what did they do to you? This isn't our child. I'm a much more organized person now, and I love it. Why did you pick biochemistry?
Your senior yourself didn't pick biochemistry. Your senior yourself didn't know what he was doing.
Why did you stick with it?
Okay. I was gonna say, you still don't know what you're doing.
I don't think my senior year self even saw anything coming. I was just like, sure, it's gonna be great. But there's no way of knowing. Like, I don't even know where I'm gonna be next month. Like, I'm gonna be in a different country in 2 months. And I would have never expected that. And I would have never expected to be here behind this camera either. Which is very weird for me. So, I really don't know.
What do you mean you don't have a job lined up yet?
I'd literally just say good luck. I don't want to give anything away. It was a complete mess, and if I had to do it again, I'd rather not know what was going on.
My gut tells me Britney Spears 2007.
Why?
Because I'm constantly on the brink of, like, let's shave my head.
Oh no, do we have to keep it 2007 themed?
No.
Patriots 2007. Seems to be going well, it's gonna go to shit at the end.
I would rate my year... my memory. A complete and utter mess with very few moments of brilliance.
My year probably will crash and burn. But... ooh.
Some of us know why. But until then...
We'll check back in on this. You'll get an update.
The Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief movie.
Oh!
Yikes, a terrible imitation of something that was once great.
I think my life's going as great as the Medicis. You think you're going great, and then the freaking Patsies come out of nowhere, and they're like, hey guys, we're back!
Oh, no. Bill from Stranger Things. We all made it out of the building. The dog out of nowhere.
No.
We all knew it was going to happen, but we were just hoping it wouldn't.
So until next time, this has been the C Word.